Awesome. So, welcome tonight. We're excited that you're joining us, and we are going to give you a 30,000-foot view of what this company called Pure has to offer. And if we have not met, my name is Leslie Forster, and I have been involved with Pure for 14 years. And when I sat down, and some dear friends of ours from church shared this with me, we were living that American dream. We were running the rat race, right? I had two small kids, they were 3 and 5. We had multiple businesses, our main one being real estate, and we were catching each other coming and going. So we had the house, the cars, but all the debt that went along with it. And we were juggling everything. And by the end of the day, I know my goal was to be at home with my babies. Okay. 3 and 5, they weren't quite babies, but they were babies to me. And my goal was to be at home. And what I found was I was so overwhelmed. I was stressed. I was trying to run our businesses from home. I didn't even know my name by the end of the day. And I had mom brain fog, and I was carrying around that extra baby weight. And my kids were 3 and 5, if you heard that, if you caught that. So I hadn't lost the baby weight. And it was not because I wasn't in the gym, and it was not because I wasn't dieting and doing all the things. Okay. I was a former college athlete. I was not new to the gym, and I was not new to eating healthy and losing weight. So my body was in a crisis. So when I saw what you're going to get to see tonight, I got super excited. I saw hope about getting my health on track, getting good nutrition in my kids' bodies, in my husband's body. And then I did, because y'all, I never shy away from this. I got excited about the income opportunity side of this. And so I don't shy away from that. I saw hope. I saw a way that I could make an extra stream of income and maybe get my husband home before those kids were back in bed, because he was not getting to see our kids awake. And so that's where I was. I had never done anything like this before. So whoever invited you on, they might be thinking, hey, these products are great for you. Or they may have said, hey, I've got an income opportunity for you. Just my best advice is come with an open mind. Listen to it, and then you decide what you want here, and we're going to honor and respect that. Okay. So my husband and I, we didn't dip our toe in the water. We dove head first into the pool. I wanted to taste, touch, feel everything. You guys, I lost over 40 pounds. Actually, right now to this day, I'm 50 pounds lighter than when I started with Pure. I will turn 45 in a few days, and I feel amazing. I feel better now than I did at 18 as a collegiate athlete. That's not normal, y'all. Okay. So the products helped me tremendously. I shared this with the people that I loved and cared about, that I knew were having the same health issues I was, and they started getting results. And this grew organically. And we were able to actually shut our real estate firm down and go full time in this business as our sole source of income within 2 years. So for the last 12 years, this has been our income, and I have never been more blessed by a company. And as I say that, you want to know what the best part about this company is to me now, 14 years later? It's the people. And so I'm so excited for you to get to hear from my dear friend Taryn Liker, because we are those friends that I call her. She'll call me for a shoe recommendation almost every day of the week, and I will call her, and she helps me with my product regimens. I don't know, there are very few people in the industry that know these products to the level that she does. So you are in for a treat. And so I'm actually going to pass it to her, because again, I actually reach out to her and say, hey, can you help me tweak this in my regimen? I kind of think I need to, tighten this up or whatever. So, Taryn, I'm going to pass this to you so that you can share with them what this company is all about, what the philosophy is all about, and why you and I both got so excited, and why we're still here over a decade later.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I just am so excited to do this because this is something that when we first looked at it, neither one of us thought we were going to like what we were about to see. We were definitely coming with an open mind, and thank God we were, but we could have missed how big this was had we just said, no, I just don't want to deal with that. I'd rather stay at home in my sweats. And so this was something that has drastically changed our lives. So just to give an idea of where our lives started out for us here in Kansas, my name is Taryn Liker. I live in Hays, Kansas, which is a town of 22,000 people. When I saw this for the first time, I was 27 years old. My husband was 29, and our kids were 3 and 7. Here is the reality of where we were at. We were working 5 jobs between the two of us to barely make ends meet. It was, okay, don't mail that check yet, because at least it'll be postmarked on time, but it cannot cash. And so we were just really struggling with our finances, to the tune that we would have to, I would splurge once a week, to splurge on a Sonic drink that was half price during happy hour. And so that was really the reality. And James would do something really nice for me, and he'd go make something that he bought the supplies at Home Depot. I always mix those two up. But he'd spend $42. That would set us back for 6 months. Okay. So financially, we were a complete wreck. So I never thought we would even be successful in life because we could barely make it. And what it came down to is there was a lot of stress, but our health was the biggest thing. So between me and our two children, we were on 12 medications every single month as a base. And I really wondered what is wrong with us because something has to be different. I asked a nutritionist, I asked a doctor, I asked nurses, I asked any of my friends that were like somewhat healthy. And I was like, just trying to figure it out, when you just ask a whole bunch of people things. Because the reality is, I was on an antidepressant and I had been since I was 13 years old. Our children had gut health issues, and so did I. I now know it was gut health, the system, but I didn't know it at the time. What that presented as is I was constipated. I would have one bowel movement every 3 to 5 days. Well, if I eat 3 meals a day on average, that's 9 in to 15 in. Where did the other 8 to 14 go? Like, that's not health. And so that was me. I was backed up and moody because of it, just not fun. And that was putting a lot of weight on me as well, a lot of stagnation in my body. Well, our daughter was age 6 when she was diagnosed with colitis, couldn't keep water down for a matter of almost 2 weeks. And so it was very scary, had to do an endoscopy, colonoscopy, and our son had life-threatening food allergies. We, of course, had all the seasonal allergies, and I had done allergy shots and all these things. But here's the reality you know, when you look at your family or other people's families, this is not uncommon anymore, but it's not normal because that is not exactly the world that our parents grew up in, our grandparents, or our great grandparents. And there are a lot of differences that snuck up on each generation, but each generation only knew what was happening to them. And now it has become a big crisis. And so before I get any more into it, I want to show you what we plan on going over tonight. So, again, like Leslie said, whether you are here because you want to learn more about the health and the lifestyle and understand how you can apply that, or the opportunity, you are in the right place. So, I will be going over why Pure. Are the products safe and do they work? And Leslie's going to go over the business side because those are the niches that we love, but we don't hide from either one of them. And so, is there an opportunity? Heck yes. Will you get help? I think this is living proof you will. And what is my timing? And so it is really the best time that I've ever seen. So when it comes to Pure, you are going to see why they started here in a second, but what it comes down to is they put their money where their mouth is. They did not like what the supplement industry stood for, and they said there is not a standard, therefore we will set our own. And so they make sure that the labs are certified, that we are absolutely making sure our ingredients are top notch, that they are going to deliver, that they are not going to do any harm. So they are pure, potent, and practical. And here's the other thing, our investors have really deep pockets. You're going to see some names. And I just love that they're very bougie because they want to take the best. So we get the best. So we don't go with the cheap little products or the cheap ingredients. Like, we're not trying to pinch pennies here. We want to make sure it's working. And so they really do things right when it comes to that, which is why people get results, which is why medical professionals are like, what are you doing? Like, what is this stuff? And they see the differences in their patients that they are seeing that have been able to say, oh, well, I'm on Pure. And so they then say, tell me a little bit more about this. And we have over 400 medical professionals that endorse this, utilize it with their own family. And now many of them are recommending this as a way to have that holistic approach to health instead of just pushing pills. So why does that happen? It happens when a company is safe and when it is effective. Otherwise, you are not going to get that. You would not have the results we have if it was not going to be that pure, potent, and practical. But before I go any further, I want to share a video that is very relevant to our time that I hope will show you a little bit more about the picture of what we're up against when it comes to health in the US. And whether you agree with the political stance or not is irrelevant. Listen to the stats. But as you're watching this, I want you to think of who is it in your life that needs to hear this? Because I couldn't help but think if there really is a solution to people not feeling good, to not having the connections with their family, to being miserable on medications. If we have the chance to do something, shouldn't we? And so this is something that I will have you watch this video and then we'll be right back to discuss what the solution is.
Hey, we spend more on healthcare than any country on earth, twice what they pay in Europe. And yet we have the worst health outcomes of any nation. Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. And CDC says that's because we are the sickest people on earth. We have the highest chronic disease rate on earth. Two-thirds of American adults and children suffer from chronic health issues. 50 years ago, that number was less than 1%. Oh, we've gone from 1% to 66%.
So 9 years into medical training at Stanford, gave it up voluntarily. What did they say when you walk into your colleagues at Stanford and say, I'm giving it up?
Why are Americans getting sicker every year? Why are 50% of American children dealing with a chronic health issue? I knew that I couldn't cut into one more person until I understood why Americans are getting sicker every single year. You take a patient with 10 different issues and you send them to 10 different specialists, put them on 10 different meds, maybe eventually have 10 different surgeries. You never actually are taught how to put the pieces together, look at the whole body as a system, which of course it is.
There's been an explosion of neurological illnesses. In the year 2000, the autism rate was 1 in 1,500. Now, autism rates in kids are 1 in 36, according to CDC nationally. Nobody's talking about this. 1 in every 22 kids in California has autism.
The reason why our kids are chronically ill, half of the kids in America are chronically ill, are all from preventable issues.
And why isn't this in the headlines every single day? There's nobody else in the world that is experiencing this. This is only happening in America. About 18% of American teens now have fatty liver disease. That's like 1 out of every 5. That disease, when I was a kid, only affected late-stage alcoholics who were elderly. Cancer rates are skyrocketing in the young and the old. Young adult cancers are up 79%. 1 in 4 American women is on antidepressant medication. 40% of teens have a mental health diagnosis. So what's causing this suffering? I'll name 2 culprits. First, and the worst, is ultra-processed food. Laboratory scientists who many of them formerly worked for the cigarette industry, which purchased all the big food companies in the 1970s and 80s, deployed thousands of scientists to figure out new chemicals to make the food more addictive. And these ingredients didn't exist 100 years ago. Humans aren't biologically adapted to eat them. Hundreds of these chemicals are now banned in Europe, but ubiquitous in American processed foods. We are just poisoning the poor citizens, and that's why they have the highest chronic disease burden of anybody, any demographic in our country, and the highest in the world. The good news is that we can change all this.
That little thing went away to where I could see my video again. Sorry. Okay, so here's the thing. Is that not crazy? Did you catch some of the key things in there? Because it said the cigarette companies, their employees were the ones that were hired by the food industry. Do you think that has a correlation to make it addictive, to sell it more? Like, oh, that's a great plan because that went so well for our lung health. So we now became addicted to food. And here's the crazy thing. They were making money off of us in getting us sick and keeping us sick because not only was the food industry doing that, but then the pharmaceutical came in. So there is bigger money in keeping us not really functioning very well, but not sick enough to die. It's in that middle of just miserable. I don't want people to make a lot of money off of me for me to stay miserable. I am all about them making a lot of money off of me to be healthy. But this is ridiculous to the tune of $4.5 trillion were spent on chronic disease and mental health illnesses last year. $4.5 trillion. Do you know how much the health and wellness industry was worth last year? 5 billion. So let's make it better for people to make us healthier, to get us better. What if we actually shifted our buying power to have more vibrant, healthy lives? I'd say that's amazing. And that's what Leslie and I have been doing for over a decade now. We found the solution and we are thrilled about it. So, where did this come from? Was this a couple guys in suits in a boardroom saying, how are we going to make money off of them? No. This actually came from several investors that said, we know how to take a company from small to big, but they recognized what was on a smaller scale that could be taken to a larger scale. So there was a clinic in California that people came in sick and left well so frequently that it became the it place that people wanted to get in. They had a waiting list for years of people that are not used to being on a waiting list. So people like you and I would never have had a chance to get in there. Well, what was that clinic doing? Why were people clamoring to get in the door? They had a philosophy that has been tried and true for decades. It is cleanse the body, balance the body, and build the body. They have formulas that basically help the body do this. And when they implemented that process with every single person that walked in, that's where they left well. So our investors were brilliant, said, we are going to take these products, that philosophy to the masses. We are going to cleanse their body, balance their body, and build their body. So here's why our philosophy works so well. We cleanse the 7 channels of elimination: the liver, the colon, the lungs, lymphatic system, kidneys, bloodstream, and skin, very gently. But when those channels of elimination are not stagnant, your body's going to absorb what you're giving it much better, and it's going to purge what doesn't belong so that it doesn't become overtaxed and overwhelmed. Then we balance our body chemistry. We are balancing our energy, our hormones, our moods, and then our gut flora. So our Goyin is a beautiful mixture, was our pilot product that balances that so that your body can adjust the way it needs to. Because so many people think, oh, I need more of this or less of this. No, you need to give your body the tools it needs to do its job, because none of this treats, heals, or cures the human body. The human body is perfect. Its only job is to keep you alive, and its goal is to keep you well. That is its only job. And when it has enough of the tools to do so, it will do so. But if it's lacking, it's going to just do its best, but it's not going to be a pretty picture, but at least you're alive to do something about it in the future. And so we balance that body chemistry with our Goyim. That also had a clinical study on it done before we ever sold a single bottle. And it was shown to be more effective than Prozac. As one of those 1 in 4 women that was on an antidepressant, that was me. And I can say I finally felt like a human being that was able to be happy and sad, and it was okay. And it was one of the most beautiful things when I actually got to feel and it was okay. Then we build our body up. Our body is built to absorb food, get the nutrients out, deliver it through the blood, and then get rid of the byproducts. That's just what it's supposed to do. But what happens when today's food is ultra processed, there's no nutrients in it. It's like, oh my gosh, there was nothing in that. You just made me work so hard. I got nothing from it. So yes, I'm going to keep you hungry. Why do you think we're ravenous? We'll eat a meal and then we're hungry, what, 20 minutes later, an hour later? Because it's empty. And so imagine what could happen is if you give your body the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients in a bioavailable form that's going to absorb quickly, that your body just has the buffet of what it needed. That's what we do with our daily build and our calcium. These are both liquid forms, so they are going to get into your bloodstream fast. And that's where you're not going to have this ravenous hunger because you're satisfied. And your body has a buffet, so it can say, oh, today I need this, this, and this. Don't need that today. You give it the buffet so it can do what it needs to do. You don't have to overthink it, and it is just a done deal. Imagine if that was as simple as your grocery list could be, because we spend so much money, so much time, so much effort to get food in front of our families. But at the end of the day, when it's empty, we're really fighting against this whole process and making it harder. One of the things we set our dinner table with every single night is the daily build so our family can have that. And the calcium has calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, vitamin K. So your body can actually absorb and utilize it, which means you're going to get the benefit of it. When you look at the deficiencies in what that causes in people, that can be a lack of sleep, that can be poor moods, that can be your gut health, all of the things that people think, oh, I'm just a mess. No, you're just deficient. And it's so beautiful because within 28 days, when you get this into your system, you're going to feel that mental alertness. You're going to feel better because that's all your body needed was the tools that it needed to do its job. And so when people ask, what do I need to do? How much do I need to take? Like, what does this look like? Here's what I want you to ask yourself, because your body will give you subtle alerts when it's just lacking a little. And that'll be you're not going to sleep well. Maybe you gain just a little bit of weight, maybe 5 to 10 pounds. You might have a little bit of pain or inflammation. Maybe you're not very focused. Maybe you're not very energetic. Just those little things. Those are the alerts that says, hey, I'm starting to lack. And so if you could give me a little more, I'll do better. But when you ignore that for a long time, that's when things are going to be allergies, where you're going to get sick more frequently, where your moods are going to start to come off. You're going to have rough cycles. You're going to gain more weight. You're going to gain anywhere between 15 to 25 pounds that are just not supposed to be there. And so that's when your body says, you've been ignoring me for a long time and you might need a little bit more. Then there are the diagnoses. If you've ever been diagnosed with something, you have totally ignored your body when it was trying to alert you, when it was giving you the warnings. You did nothing. Therefore, it says, look, it's a hot mess here, and I really need you to flood my system so that I can do what it is I was designed to do. And so that's what I ask you to do, a little survey of you and your family members. How long have you been ignoring the basic alerts? And based on that, what are you willing to do in order to flood your body to see what is actually possible? Because I'm looking at many faces on here and I know they've experienced it to where they've seen the power of the products. Just like our Aqualine, it's one of our new products that was released in 2024. It helps with the mitochondria in the cells. What that means is it's going to, from a cellular level, help your body function efficiently. It's going to make sure it's rejuvenating, that you're able to have your metabolism functioning. I personally have lost over 10 pounds, well over 20 inches, and it just keeps getting better and better. And that was the only product that I added to my routine. So that one little thing was a game changer, especially in perimenopause stage here. It was finally helping the very basics of my body to just reset. And so our products are meant to work extremely well. But when you want a plan to actually change things and shift the trajectory of your health and increase your health bank account, that's where I suggest people do a plan. So the most common thing that I get asked is weight loss. Okay, so I'm giving you an example here. So what should you do? You should implement that core philosophy and build the foundation. So you could do that with our core base or our core 4. You can pick the calcium or the energy and you can save a lot. That's $43 or $52 savings for just bundling them in that way. That then says system check mark, you're good to go on making sure that foundation is set. Next, say, okay, now that I took care of my body, what goal do I have? So if you wanted to lose some weight, we have a lean down bundle. The Aqualine is going to take care of your body from that cellular level. The protein is going to make sure you get a vegan version of protein that's bioavailable, break down or easily, and also have 20 grams of protein. The on track is going to be the trifecta for fat. It tells your body whatever you consume when you have this in your system did not have enough sugar or carbs to convert to fuel. Well, that's probably not the case in today's world, but what it does is it says, whoa, I need fuel. So it goes to your stored fat, burns that as fuel, and when it's burning it as fuel, it can't store new fat. So it's blocking, burning, and keeping your body from storing new fat. Sounds pretty good to me. People ask, well, Taryn, do I just take 2 a day? Depends. How long do you want your body in fat burning mode? I want it in fat burning mode all day long. So I do that breakfast, lunch, and dinner because you get about 3 to 4 hours out of it. So my body is in fat burning mode all day long. The metabolic max supports the thyroid, also helps to get your metabolism revving, because a lot of times our thyroid is an issue when it comes to why we're not seeing our body burn the fat that it should be. So that is another bundle we put together just to make it simple. If you want to lose weight, that's the bundle to go with. It has a $30 savings. You can add some extras. Serene, Leslie, and I both love it and swear by it. It keeps your stress from accumulating on your hips, thighs, and waist. It's helping cortisol. Ladies, if you are in perimenopause, menopause stage, you have heard about cortisol. And if you haven't, that is what is on your hips, thighs, and waist. So I highly suggest getting it off of it and taking the Serene. You will thank us later. And you will also not want to fly off the handle at a 3. Your family's going to get to about an 8 before you're going to lose your ever loving marbles. So you can go ahead and build your own cart, and the company has discounts available that once you get to certain thresholds, they will give you additional 10% off single items or even 15% off and free shipping. So just know, get back with the person that invited you to look at this, and you start with a core and then whatever your goals are or your struggles or your frustrations. That's how I would approach this, because a product can change, it can help you for sure, but the philosophy of cleanse, balance, build will change you and change the trajectory that you were on. And that is where the real power is. As you can see, we have a lot of different products, but they can guide you through it. So if you answer those things for you, they can suggest things. If you are somebody that is in the gym and wants to get way more results for what you're doing, then do the workout line. There's pre, during, and post workout in there. Our superfruits are 100% wild harvested. That superfruit, nothing else. And so one helps with the mangosteen is anti-inflammatory, antihistamine, antiviral. The noni is phenomenal for your digestion. Goji is great for your libido, blood pressure, triglycerides, cholesterol, adrenal health. The acai is the beauty berry, great for hair, skin, and nails. And so you can see that we have such a great line here, including healthy coffee for you. We have so many different things that the person that invited you can help guide you through this. But if you just do the one thing that I said and start with the core and that lean down bundle, if you're looking to lose a couple of extra pounds, that's going to be the best way to go about it. So, how do you get involved in the company? There are 3 ways. Leslie's going to go over the third, but the retail customer, both of us think it's pointless. You overpay, and I don't see why, because retail customer is going to pay more and they're getting the same thing. So, we highly suggest becoming a preferred customer if you're just wanting to get in for the products. You're going to get a free membership. So there's no fee. There are no obligations, no order requirements, no minimums, none of that nonsense. And you're going to get the same price that Leslie and I get, which is 25% off that retail price. And so it really is that simple, just like shopping on Amazon. So why would you pay more when there is absolutely no need to? Now, if you're sitting here saying, I definitely want to do this, and I'm already thinking of 5 of my friends, you need to be open to the brand partner side of this, because that is where you could actually share this with enough people to get your products paid for. That was appealing to me because when you're piecemealing 3 jobs on your own, you don't want to add anything to your budget. But I knew a lot of women that wanted to lose the 5.7 pounds that I lost in my first week, and they were willing to buy what I had found. Therefore, I could sell it to enough people to get my product paid for and just get that to them. So we have definitely covered, are the products safe and do they work? But I'm hoping you're seeing now that there is an opportunity, especially in 2025, where you're going to hear the messaging constantly of Make America Healthy Again. And again, it's not anything political. It's an awakening because we've gone too far in the wrong direction. And so Leslie is somebody that right from the word go saw that business opportunity. She and Chris were absolutely brilliant to capitalize on that. But I was not looking at this from a business perspective as far as understanding the power of it. Leslie was trained in business. That's what she went to college for. And so this was something that she was like, okay, if I'm going to get involved, it has to check this, 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 this. And here's the thing, not only did it check all those boxes, but it checked even more. And Leslie and I have both done extremely well in this company, but here's a big reason why. Because we know if we help enough people to get what they want, we will have everything we want more, whether that's product or business. And she has been a living, breathing example of helping people to do that. And I cannot wait for you to hear from one of my dearest friends that I wouldn't know if it wasn't from this industry, from this business. And so, Leslie, with that, take it away because I just cannot wait to take the notes from you. Oh, I need
I'm
you to be.
muted.
There
Okay,
you
I am good to go. I love it, and thanks so much for that introduction. And you're right, I did see this from the word go, but I really had no earthly idea how big of a blessing this would be for us. I just knew everybody in my cell phone contact list, every one of my Facebook friends, my Instagram friends, followers, whatever they're called. I knew everybody was going to hear about it. And so as I was listening to you, I learned something new every time you talk. So I love that. But as I was listening when I heard this for the first time, I just had this checklist going in the back of my mind of my friends and people that I loved and cared about that needed to hear about this too. They struggled with the same things I did. They were still carrying the baby weight, all of the things. They had mom brain fog like I did. And so that part made sense. And you're right, right now, it is everywhere. It's in your face. It doesn't matter what social media platform you're on, whether it's the news, you're seeing RFK. I mean, we're being hit with health is important. And let me tell you, you don't think about it until you don't have it. But once something happens with your health, it's a big wake up call. So, that being said, I do want to address those three questions we talked about. Is there an opportunity? Will I have help? And what's my timing like? And so, I want to really focus in on this slide because there is such an opportunity here. And I want to walk through it because this is a business for today. Okay. I had those list of people in my head. I also know right now in our hands, we have an answer to the two areas that people struggle with the most, their health and their finances. Okay. I wasn't just interested in getting healthy. Okay. I joke about it, but I'm dead serious. I wanted to look good, feel good, and make money. Okay. Because it is that priority. I know by helping a lot of people win and earn an extra stream of income, I'm helping families. Okay, I want to be real clear on that because some people will say, well, Leslie, you're talking about the business and, you're not really helping people. Let me tell you how you help people. Okay, it's just like sharing the gospel. The more people you reach is all determined by how many missionaries you have on the field. It's the same thing here. The more people you have spreading the message, the more people you help with these products and with their health. So, that is my little soapbox, but that is what gets me up and gets me going in the morning, and it gets me excited to share this with yet another person this many years later. Okay. I did have some insight. You mentioned this. When I look at this map, I had an incredible professor that told my husband and I, he was an economics professor, and he said, if you really want to be financially secure, find a way to make money while you're sleeping. Number one. And number two, find a good network marketing company with a good consumable products that actually gets results that people have to reorder on a regular basis. That is how you build a long-term residual income. And I'm going to add to that because of the way our pay structure is and say a long-term passive growing income. Okay. And so that was in my mind. So as I was seeing this for the first time, like y'all are tonight, I was like, oh my goodness, this could be it. This could be it. This could be it. But I'd looked at over 40 companies and hadn't found it yet. So my hopes weren't too high. I was just saying it was checking off those boxes. So this is a business model for today. I hope you understand how this is growing. That is a world map. Okay. We are a global company. All I do, you guys, and all Taryn does is we connect people with a membership to the company. They shop how and when they want. How simple was that preferred customer membership? Super, super simple. No shenanigans. It's straightforward. It's a free membership. There's no minimums. Order how you want. Order when you want. I love it. All I do is connect people to the company. They order how they want. Okay. But here's how that grows. I share it with a few who have shared it with a few who have shared it with a few, and it grows organically, and it has grown organically around the world. And I'll never forget the morning I woke up and I said, hey, Chris, guess what? We actually earned money while we were sleeping last night. He's like, what do you mean? And I was like, we had people ordering products on the other side of the world while we were sleeping. And that was when this really hit home for me and I understood what we had. I also remember the second time it really hit home for me, we had gone on a vacation. It was like a 2-week vacation and we were holed up in the mountains with no cell phone signal on a ski trip. And I had my largest weekly check. It was like right, just shy of $27,000 for 1 week. And I was not even on the phone. I was totally removed from my business, and my business was growing and I wasn't even there with my pulse on it. Okay. So that was huge for me. And I will tell you, so we get paid several different ways. If you can go to the next slide, Taryn. So what I love is all I do is set people up with a membership. And like she was talking about, our preferred customer membership, it is second to none. Okay. I will tell you, if I eat at a good restaurant, I tell 5 friends. If I see a good movie, I tell 5 friends. If I find a mascara that doesn't clump, that doesn't run when I get emotional, I'm going to tell 20 friends. Okay. I do that naturally. So it is so simple and straightforward for me to share these products with people. When I enroll somebody as a preferred customer, this is how that pays out. For their first order, I'm going to earn 20%. We actually have a way right now that you can qualify to earn 30% on the first order, and we'll talk about that at the end. But in general, it's 20% for their first order. And then their second orders and beyond, that the company is going to look at the end of the month, and they're going to say, how many points of product, that's the PV. We have a point system because we operate in multiple countries around the world and we get paid weekly and monthly. So for us to figure commissions, that's why there's a point value. So I just want to point that out. But this is cool because depending on how many cumulative points all of your preferred customers add up to, that's going to depend on whether you earn 5% all the way up to 50%. Now, here's what's awesome. There are very few companies that offer up to 50%. No one offers 50% at this low of a threshold. So just to put this in perspective for you, the products that Taryn suggested, pick your core, add the fat loss trio. If you have 10 people doing that, you are earning a minimum of $1,000 a month, my friend. I'm just going to tell you right now, at $1,000 a month, because some of my friends literally just share this enough to cover the cost to order whatever they want. They're not here to necessarily earn $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 a month. They just want to make enough that if they want the skincare, they're ordering the skincare, right? Like, please hear me. You get to choose what you want out of this. So some people just simply share the customer program and never do anything else. Okay. So I absolutely love that. A minimum of 1,000. If you know 10 people that need that system, minimum of $1,000 a month. Now, the second thing, and this really gets me going, is team building. Okay. I mentioned this. I mentioned when you help other people build their income and earn an extra stream of income, you help families. Because I want you to think about this. You can have all the health in the world, but if you're stressed financially, your health feels that. It takes a toll on your health. I know when we add income, we strengthen families. And that's a huge, huge deal to me. It's heavy on my heart all the time because I know what it was like to be in that situation where you rob Peter to pay Paul. We had multiple businesses. One would do well, one wouldn't. The profits from this one would support this one. Like, it is stressful. And right now in today's world, everybody I know can benefit from an extra stream of income. So this is what gets me excited. Okay. Here's what team building looks like. Well, before I dive into that, let me talk about this. We do get paid 8 different ways. Okay. For time's sake, I'm not going to dive into that. The reason I dig into the team building so much is because to this day, 14 years later, it is the largest portion of my paycheck. And I focused on this like I focus on air, y'all. I just wanted to build a whole lot of people taking a little bit of products on a monthly basis. Okay. So while we get paid 8 ways, 6 of them we get paid every single week. I love a weekly paycheck, let me tell you. And then we have 2 of our bonuses are paid monthly. Okay. So let me just say this. You will look up and you'll go, I think I got an extra check. And then we'll have to share with you how you got that. I'm always getting these calls and I'll be like, oh yeah, there's another $150 that came from here or came from there. That is how the pay plan works. Okay. We can get you details in depth on the comp plan later if you want them, but focus right here. Okay. Every single week, this is the largest portion of my paycheck, and it has been the entire time. Okay. I love that this compensation plan is set up as a pay it forward system. It's set up for you to have help, but this is not just a who do you know business. This is a who do they know. Okay. Because again, I want you to understand, I have enrolled between preferred customers and brand partners somewhere around 175 people in 14 years. Okay. 175 might sound like a lot, but it's not if you divide that by how many months I've been involved. Okay. Like, it's really not. But a handful of those shared it with a handful, shared it with a handful, shared it with a handful. And now there are thousands upon thousands of people ordering these products on a regular basis. Okay. So you can see how that adds up. For instance, one product, Go Yin. Okay. I earn $2.90 when Go Yin is moved through my business. Okay. $2.90 is nothing to write home about. It's not going to change my financial situation, but thousands upon thousands of people ordering that on a monthly basis, you do the math. Okay. It's a big deal. And here's how it works and here's how it pays out. So we're building 2 teams, a left team and a right team. Okay. Take yourself back to rollover minute, y'all. Okay. So let's just say this week in my business that there's let's do easy math. 5,000 points worth of products purchased cumulatively on my left team. That's everybody on my left team, everybody that they've shared it with on their left team, all their preferred customers. They're going to take that cumulative volume and they're going to, let's say there's 5,000 points that week on the left. Let's say on my right team, there's 10,000 points, okay? The company's going to pay me where that's balanced. It's called 5% of balanced volume. And the math is the same as saying 10% of your lesser leg, okay? So they're going to take 5,000 points from my left team, 5,000 points from my right team, and I'm going to make $500 in that line of my paycheck. My paycheck will have 6 lines on it. When team bonus will say $500 for the week, mind you, okay? Now, every company I had seen prior to looking at this company, that extra 5,000 that the right team had produced for the week, okay? Somebody above me would absorb that profit and I wouldn't see it. Not with our company. Kick in the rollover minutes, baby. Okay. So that extra 5,000 points is actually when my new pay period starts Tuesday morning at 12:01 a.m., I'm going to have 5,000 points in my right team. Okay. I love that because you're never going to miss out on something that you created. Okay. That's a big, big deal. Okay. And so, just to tell you, like, because sometimes people will say, well, Leslie, how do I know what to do with my left team and my right team? That's what's so cool about this. I had looked at a lot of companies, and a lot of companies where you would build 4 teams to 10, up to 10 teams wide. That never made sense to me because let's say I signed up 4 of my college volleyball teammates, okay? And I just signed them up. Well, I just put them in direct competition with each other because they know the same people. I love that here building 2 teams, that enabled me to keep all of my friends and family that knew the same people on the same team. So that if my sister wanted to enroll my cousin, it didn't matter. We all benefit. So I love that. Again, this is about pulling the rope in the same direction. And it's not just who do you know, but who do they know? So I want you to understand this real quick too. Let's say, I enroll you today, okay? And then the next time I enroll somebody on my right team, let's say I place you on my right team and I enroll you today. The next time I place somebody on my right team, they help you and you benefit from their volume. How cool is that? Truly a team atmosphere. So when I'm out sharing this with people, I know every single time I'm enrolling on my right team, I'm helping everybody up that line with their volume as well. Truly a team atmosphere. And that's why I get so excited. Maybe it's because I love sports. I'm not really sure. But love this aspect. And if you will hold on and you will build your business with one thing in mind, and it is long-term growth and sharing and connecting people and they're sharing this team commissions, I know for a fact that it's paid Taryn and I both millions of dollars just this one way. That has been a blessing. That is a humbling thing to say, my friends, and it's only because we shared it with a few who shared it with a few who shared it with a few. So anyway, love that. The third and final thing I want to talk about is our pure destinations. Now, one of the reasons Taryn and I are such good friends and we have so much fun is because we've traveled the world together. We got to know each other, okay? Our company travels literally 5-star. It's so classy. I love to travel, but I would never travel at this level if I were paying for it, okay? They have sent us, I think our very first trip was to Brazil. We've gone to Spain, we've gone to Paris. That was a fun one. Taryn in Paris was super fun. Oh my goodness, my favorite one we just got finished with, which is Switzerland. Bora Bora, can you say glass bottom? Huts over the water, glass bottoms. We did it all, you guys. They do it top notch. Italy was one of my favorites. I know Taryn loved Greece. Um, Goodness, Australia. I mean, all the places. And our next trip, well, here's what's cool. I think you said last night, Taryn, I think you said to me you'd gone on like 42 or 43 trips paid for. 42 trips paid for by Pure. That is insane. Most people go a lifetime and don't even go on half that number of trips. Okay. So we're talking like we travel multiple times a year. So I'm so excited because Taryn and I are actually, we both earned a trip to the Dominican Republic, an all-inclusive resort in April. And we're actually taking our daughters who happen to be really good friends. So we're going to kick it back in DR in April. But then in September, we'll be with our spouses and Pure in Bali. Okay. So I want to focus in on Bali real quick because there is still time for each and every one of you on here. Maybe you're not even enrolled today. There is still time for you to earn this trip. And it is going to be second to none. I can assure you the place that we're staying, they do it 5-star. And my husband will tell you he enjoys trips way better because it's on somebody else's dime. So he loves to travel also. So we have a really great time with that. But um, just so we can kind of touch base on what the timing looks like and that list of things that I had in my head when I saw this for the first time. And the reason I felt confident just jumping right in, not even knowing what I was doing, y'all. I'd never done anything like this before. It's not like I'd built another company and jumped in. But when I saw this right here, I knew my timing was perfect. I'm telling you right now, the timing is better now than when I joined because we have gone through a lot. We have tasted products in baggies. We've done it all. Let's talk about why today is such a big deal. Okay. Our owners and our investors. You're going to see names that you recognize. Okay. Phil Knight, co-founder of Nike. Anybody? Kai-Shing Tao owns Vegas.com. And then Mr. Jung actually made his millions doing what we do now. He made his money in this industry. So I love that because he knows what it's like for us to share this and to grow, and he knows what's needed. Phil Knight is a visionary. He knows about taking a company from small to big. So when you have an incredible product line, it's really, really important who's steering the ship. These guys are innovators. They saw the need in the marketplace and they filled it, and they have very deep pockets. Here's the other thing. We are a 16-year-old company. We are debt free. And when I say debt free, I'm not talking about debt free where we still owe our investors money. They've all been paid back. And I'm not talking about just debt free. I'm talking about cash flow positive. We're debt free, cash flow positive. Not only that, we grew during COVID. Y'all, it can't get more solid than that. So what we have is a 16-year-old debt-free company that's rock solid financially with proven products, but we are the best kept secret in the US. Okay. So please understand, Tara and I just went on a trip to South Korea back in December. And I mean, when we walked into that event, there was red carpet, literally. I felt like we were in Hollywood. There was a red carpet rolled out. We're talking a I mean, like all the meals, right? Like it was a sit down steak dinner, all the things, because it is growing so fast. Here in the US, very few people have heard about us. I would venture to say if you're new on here, you've never heard of Live Pure. And so this is what I knew. The Harvard School of Business, they did a study and they evaluated companies in this industry and they looked at the big ones that had proven themselves, and they all go through several, 3 stages. They defined a once in a lifetime opportunity if less than 0.5% of the population has heard about it. Okay. Where we're sitting right now, less than a quarter of 1%, closer to an eighth, but less than a quarter of 1% of the population have even heard the word Live Pure. Okay. So you are setting at the most amazing time, not to mention, now take everything I just talked about and add this to it. And now you got people on the news and social media, and they're talking all about, and you're hearing from Casey Means and you're hearing from RFK. And so it is in your face right now that we have a crisis in America and people are looking for solutions right now. So it is like everything's aligning. Timing is impeccable. So all you really have to decide is what's best for you. And I want you to understand whoever invited you on here is going to love and respect you tomorrow, just like they do now. So you do what's best for you. They want you to do what's best for you. So if you simply want products, I agree with Taryn. I've never signed anybody up as a retail customer. I had no interest in marking the prices up and making money off my friends like that. But I will set people up for a preferred customer membership where they can pay the same price for their products that I pay. I love it. Okay. If that's what you want here, if that's what your interest level is in, get a preferred customer membership. Tell your friend what your budget is, what your health goal is, maybe what your health frustrations are, like Taryn was talking about, and they will help set you up on a plan to get you those results and work with you on your budget. If you're sitting here and you even have an inkling that you want to share this with others, that you might want to share this with others down the road, I'm going to tell you and I'm going to suggest getting a brand partner membership. Okay. It's a $49 membership. Okay. That's it. And that's a one-time membership fee. It's like yearly membership fee. It's $49 the first year, $25 every year after that. We do not have a monthly for your back office website fee or anything like that. Nothing like that. So this will set up. I run my entire business from that. So get a brand partner membership. Okay. And that will put you in business. It's really, really simple. Okay. You get your membership, and then I'm going to suggest you set up your smart ship. Here's why. 2 reasons. First off, to be eligible to earn commissions, you need to purchase or have a preferred customer that purchases 100 points worth of product every 28 days. I'm going to tell you that core system is 100 points. That's going to keep you commission qualified. I take more products than that per month. Taryn does too. You're going to fall in love with the products. It's not going to be an issue. That smart ship that keeps you commission eligible should never be a burden to you. You should be earning more than what you're spending on those products. But here's the kicker. Um, my husband looked at me and said, Leslie, that's our overhead. In our traditional business, it was 10 to 12,000 whether we sold a house or not that month. Okay, so for us, it was like, okay, come on. So he asked the question. He said, well, what does that go up to? Let's say I make a lot of money down the road. What does that increase to? And I'm here to tell you, 14 years, that's never increased. It was 100 points when I started. It's 100 points now. And I love that and I respect that. So, you can probably hear my dog barking. Somebody must be in my house. Sorry, this is life. But the other reason to do Smart Ship is the company will actually reward you for ordering on a regular basis, and they're going to give you what we call reward points that you can redeem for free products later. So it's just more of a savings. I'm a woman. I love a savings. And then what you want to do is you want to place your first order. I'm going to let Taryn talk about that in a minute. And give you the option on that. But I want to touch on number 4, okay? Actually, let me go back to place my first order. I want you to know what I did. I bought the business pack because I wanted to taste, touch, feel everything. If somebody asked me, hey, how is that grape energy? I wanted to have tried it. I also wanted to lose weight like I needed air. And so I was like, I want to hit this from all angles. I didn't want to take one product and then, yeah, maybe I would feel better and maybe it would help, but I where could I be in 60 days if I had flooded my body with the products? And so I wanted to attack it from all angles. So I wanted the fat loss. I wanted those products, and so I jumped in and got my order. So once you place your first order, number 4, will I have help? That's the last question on that I am tasked with. And I want to tell you the help is here. Tara and I have both had help all along the way, but we actually have a Facebook group where you learn more about the products. You learn, it's incredible um, education that is in there and third party credibility, and we're all in there helping each other out. And so there is help, there is support every single step of the way. You just need to tell the person that's getting you started, and they can add you to that group, and we will be here to help you. Taryn, I know when this business pack came out the other day, you called me with such excitement, and that's why as excited as I now am, knowing how much savings it is, I want you to share about this, and then just go ahead and close us out if you don't mind.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So the big thing is I got excited about this pack because it actually has 2 full core completes, which is even above and beyond what I talked about with the core 4 and the core base. So it has all the super fruits. It has everything that you would need. So when the company said, hey, we want to really make sure that people get to experience the whole line and get a great savings, they put this together to have those 2 full core completes, but you have one of every single thing in the entire line. Not only did they do that, but they gave you that entire Ciencia skincare free. And that's not just any skincare, that is Korean Beauty. K Beauty is the #1 performing skincare in the entire world, and that is the EWG Clean. Are you kidding me? So, like, we really are at the epitome of the cleanest skincare and the best skincare. I am 40 years old, and you can take as close up of the close up as you want because my skin is better now than it was before we got this line. And so, as a 40-year-old, I'm more confident in my skin than I used to be at 27 and even 18. More comfortable in my body than I definitely was at 18. And not many people can say that. So, this is beautiful because #1, you get to be a product of the product. #2, you get to actually experience everything. I do not want the opinion of a vegan at a steakhouse. I want somebody that knows what it is that they are recommending. And so if you're not somebody that wants to take each and every one of these products, great. Find a friend that says, hey, would you be willing to test out and share your experience? It's a great way to get products in other people's hands. And so this is something that you're not going to waste anything. You get to experience it, and then you can find your favorites, because that is when we flooded our body with the nutrients, it came alive. That's what we did. And we then found our favorites, and we've been able to figure out how to get people what their goals are by starting out in this kind of a way. And so another thing, this pack right here is $1,950 and is that savings of 611. That will ship free. You will get your enrollment fee waived, so you will not pay that setup fee for all your back office goodies. And that is also going to lock you into 30% first order commission when you enroll anyone up through October of this year. So that is such a great win. And this legit counts as a business write-off. This is a startup. So this is a way that you truly can get the maximum amount of products as your business startup, but you can use those for personal consumption, and it's still a write-off, which is a really big thing because that's helpful later on when you start making some money. So here's the deal. I couldn't afford doing something like this, but I couldn't afford not to. I kind of ran some calculations in my head and I go, you know what? I'm going to be an idiot and waste $2,000 over the course of my life. Like that was going to be a given. But I was never going to waste $2,000 that it was going to be an investment in my health, a business startup, and for me to truly put my skin in the game and know that this is something I couldn't just dip my toe into, that I was committed to. Because what I really wanted is I wanted to take about $500 worth of products every month for my health. I wanted to be off my antidepressants. I knew I could not afford it with working 3 jobs to barely make $800 every 2 weeks. But I knew enough people that wanted to lose some weight. And I knew I could get enough people in front of this message. And when they wanted to lose the weight, I could have the income to be able to buy the products. My desire to be able to live a vibrant, healthy life free of depression kept my motivation to find people that want to lose weight. And that changed my life. I got started because I also knew this, what Leslie has talked about many times. People will look at you at this point and they'll say, what did you do? They knew we were broke. So they knew if I believed that much and that I was happy with my decision, I wasn't regretting it, they could be confident in doing the same. And I was committed to making sure they were helped so that they could be confident in that decision as well. So what happened is in the first 28 days, if you were in front of me, you were going to hear how much weight I lost. And I got really excited because I started earning some checks. I was like, holy crap, I actually made $690 in my first week. I'd never earned that kind of money. That was insane to me to be able to have conversations and yield that kind of money. I don't know what you will or won't do. I've had a check as little as $69 too. So don't think they're all like wonderful. Some of them are like, ooh, that one was not anything to write home about. But in the first 28 days, I committed to sharing what we had found, what had changed. I said, you have got to take a look at this. In the first 28 days, I had personally signed up 8 people that said, I want to do this too. I want it for my health and I want to be able to share it with other people if the opportunity presents itself. Those 8 people in the first 28 led to 81. What happened is that meant I had hit a level called diamond. That is one of the incomes that when you can maintain that, you will make 6 figures a year. I had never even dreamed that I could make 6 figures, but that 8 became 81, and within 6 months, it became 1,200. That then locked in further another level of a 6 figure income. And so that was something that got really exciting because I realized the message was relevant, that people did want the opportunity, and that all I had to do was continue to share what was happening. And our finances changed entirely. I never dreamed that I could drive a vehicle that was paid off. And I really never dreamed that I could pay for that vehicle in cash. Never in a million years did I think we would pay cash for land. You have to understand that we were paycheck to paycheck. We were sick. And I really genuinely wondered if my children would survive because of how sick they were. They would end up in the ER, and we were terrified for my son's life. So for us to have a little something that found us has been the biggest blessing. And I'm just so grateful that when I was on my knees praying to God that He would offer a solution in our prayer, in our health and our finances, I did not think it was going to be this, but I'm super grateful that I was open minded enough to not only start, but then take the steps. And so I don't know what it is for you that you see in this, but there's no question about whether or not Live Pure is going to be big, especially with Make America Healthy Again. So are they safe and do they work? Absolutely. Is there an opportunity? You know there is. Will you get help? Yes, we are here. And your timing has never been better. So if you have seen this and you want to get started, I highly suggest you decide which option is the best for you. Get back with the person that invited you, order and get your account set up that's the best for you, because that's how you truly will win. Because if you don't take any action, time is going to pass with or without your decision. I wasn't going to let time pass without me making the decision to do something about it, because I flash forward to 10 years from now at the Thanksgiving Day dinner table, and that my sister-in-law was like, hey, Taryn, I need to tell you about this thing called Pure. And I was going to go, you've got to be kidding me. That she was the one to tell me, because I knew people would hear about it, but I wanted to be the one to take it to Hayes. I wanted to take it to surrounding areas. I wanted Kansas to be under me, and Kansas is now under me. Is it or is it not, Leslie? So that is something that you really can be the one to take it to the rest of the US, and that can spread globally. And so why not? Why not you? Why not deliver this message? And so get back with the person that invited you. Thank you so much for taking the time. And I just really appreciate that you've stuck with us this long. So cheers to that.
Thank you.
Couple things real quick.